The video kind of blew up. Kind of ironic that the same result happened to SoundSmith too. But anyways, welcome to another episode of TDS Stereotypes. In this episode, I'll be covering the second part of the shop thing, which is the intermediate section. It's going to probably be a long one considering of all these towers I have to review. As usual, all of these stereotypes is kind of exaggerated and will probably not apply to you, but if it does, then that's pretty cool. Comment something about it if it does, lol. That'd be pretty nice. But yeah, with all that said, let's get to the first tower. Ace Palette is a tower that was used to be used by people that would grind hardcore. I think it's still used for hardcore. I mean, it was used for that one hardcore solo encrypted video, but still. It also does pretty decent damage for early games, so people who usually uses this usually defends early waves as well. Some people who uses this tower also likes towers that moves, the ones like Crook Minions, military jeeps, you know, which can lag the server at sometimes, especially back in my day when spawn towers had no cooldown or limit, like the bomb that falls from the Ace Palette. The bomb looks pretty cool though, I'm not gonna lie. If I remember, there was a buff to it. I'm not sure though, since I'm not caught up to date with TDS reworks and updates, so if I am mistaken in some parts, just feel free to correct me. But yeah, people who usually uses this tower just defends early waves or just, you know, use it as an actual DPS source. I mean, don't get me wrong, the Ace Palette is a really good tower. It can't be stunned, really cheap, does a lot of damage in periods. Yeah, I get people who uses this, but like, once you get the pursuit, I see like no use in using it other than hardcore, since the Ace Palette is cheap and really good for hardcore. Just trust him. He is going to be that Giga Chad that heals your towers to do more damage, always uses the ability after the stumps are gone, and are always great fellas. However, the bad part of these guys is that they tend to place max medics after they're done maxing their towers. I mean, it makes sense, right? Usually you need max level towers before getting max medic, considering the stuns usually comes after wave 35 or so. Usually medic users tend to have DJ as well. Props to them. However, in some rare cases, maybe even commanders, in events. Considering the amount of stuff you need to do as a medic user already in an event, adding Koa chaining on top of that, yeah, not for me. They're too broke with buying the minigunner, so they bought this instead. I mean, that's a stereotype if I've ever seen one. They usually use the Militant as their main DPS source, considering they're probably starting out as well. I mean, you need something decent to get good towers, right? In another side, people who usually uses this only uses the Militant as an early wave defender, since of its cheap price of 800 bucks, and is basically the minigunner but with half of its fire rate. Either that, or people who has this but not use it could still be mourning the death of the John Tower, one of the best towers in the game, deleted by Below for 0 reasons. Very sad. Also, they could have gotten it from a code like really back then. But anyways. This person plays hardcore and is going to use it for early defending with some other random teammates or friends. Either that or he just likes tanks. I mean, they look cool, I guess. One thing is that people who uses this could also just want to create lag, since it's a spawn tower, meaning it has to move to actually get to the end, like zombies. But with this, it comes with a limit or cooldown to how much spawn towers there could be in a map overall. However, back in my day, spawn towers used to not have limits, so you could quite literally spam a shitload of them, lag the server, and completely freeze the zombies and jeeps. It was a really fun time back then, where bugs were still rampant in TDS, but now it's obviously patched, so yeah. Before I knew it was nerfed, by the way. I've never really seen anyone use the Pyromancer other than events or hardcore, in my experience. It should be used more. It's like a really good tower for defending early waves. It has kind of the same fire rate as what a minigunner would have, and does very good damage for the cost of very cheap cash. People who uses Pyro usually uses the golden one though, and I can't really argue with that. It's a really good golden tower. It used to be crapped on by the community, but now people are just kind of neutral with it, and I can see why. It's basically like a budget gladiator in my opinion. I know those two works completely and fundamentally different, but still, I think you get my point. But yeah, if you see a player that uses Pyro, just know that they are probably just using it to melt lead and help with the early waves. That's all. Then after that, they're just gonna farm for accelerator or something. Okay, so while playing this map over here in this recording, I was chatting with some other guys and they said that the golden Pyro got nerfed. I did not know that. So yeah, now I can kind of see why no one uses it now. Kind of is just bad. I'm gonna continue using Golden Scout now since Gold Pyro is kind of poopy. So I guess the stereotype is that people who uses the Golden Pyromancer is oblivious to the nerf, because that's what happened to me. And if they use normal Pyro, then I'm cool, I guess. Okay, so I was watching an encrypted video and apparently Golden Pyro is worse than a normal Pyro somehow. Amazing, Below. You did God's work over here. Farm is okay. Farm is a tower that's basically used by everyone. If you're not using farm, then I don't know what you're doing. Everyone has to have farms. You don't get enough cash to get max accelerators or max towers if you're just placing towers, defending and killing zombies. That's why there's not much of a stereotype here. Alright, there are types of players that uses the farm though. One, they are the normal types. These people simply farm for minigunners and etc. Usually the MVP in middle or late waves. If the defenders are struggling, maybe they'll put a few minigunners or two against slow bosses or mystery spam. By then they should have already started to defend already, so I don't know. 2, the troller. He simply places farm in the most outrageous spot and then max them. Once he's done, he either leaves or actually defends. If you see one of these players, just leave. You're going to lose anyways, so it's not worth your time. I don't even know why they do it. Like, come on, man. And lastly, there's the, oh, I am farming, I can't defend people. People who does this? Screw you. If you see 5 bosses slowly approaching the base, just fucking help. It's not that hard. Just put like 2 or 3 minigunners in the back and you can continue farming. I know it'll screw your money efficiency, but like, how are you gonna get cash if you're dead? Yeah, I hate them. The Rocketeer is a tower that's not really used anymore. Back in the day, it was kind of overpowered. So much so that the devs unintentionally made a nerf to the Rocketeer by making the old boss the Golden Titan. This beast of a boss was quite significantly targeted to the Rocketeer because of its slight passive defensive ability where explosive damage does a lot less damage to the boss. This makes it so that you'd have to use another damaging unit to actually defeat it. However, back in my day, I did not follow that. I still used it and it still wrecked the Golden Titan. Also with the Commando, but we'll get to that tower in probably episode 5 or 6. It's the exclusive tower, so yeah. Considering of the amount of AoE damage it did, and it could be stacked, like the Koa stack, you know? So you could have 150% fire rate of Rocketeers just bullying bosses. But that was in the past. Now it's just kind of bad. If you want Splash, just use Pursuit. It's a literal upgrade to the Rocketeer and does so much more DPS, and it also cannot get stunned as well. People who uses this, they think on paper that it's really good, but in reality it's not. The slow ass fire rate with the mid damage is not worth it, as well as the outrageous prices for the upgrades is not good at all. So people who uses this, they're just new probably. Either that or they thought the Rocketeer looks cool. However, if you do own one and used to use it in the past and is still trying to use it, I feel for you, man. I used to do that too. People who uses the Crook Boss likes the cool looking menacing dudes that comes out of your base. But they also want the man who spawns them do damage as well. Because if you just like cool looking men coming out of the base, just use an elf camp. Either that or do you like Mafia members? I mean, they have drip. Like, damn. Oh yeah, right. The golden one. The golden Crook Boss is basically just the normal Crook Boss, but cooler, and better, and stronger, and smarter. Yeah, I think you get the idea. They mainly defend early waves and mid waves, and they hold pretty strong too. So just depend on them for those waves, and just farm for more cash heavy towers like minigunners or railgunners or, you know, the hard hitters. And yeah, I think that's all for the stereotypes. Not much longer than the first episode, but it's still longer, so yeah. So now, you're in the end. I'm now going to ask for subscribers and likes. So hit that subscribe button and like, because I want views and I want more subs, because screw you. Also comment something cool, like, cool? I don't know. Just don't comment bad stuff. No one likes that. But yeah, I gotta go now. 8:30 p.m. right now and I'm about to go to sleep. Alright, I am Mootsie and I'm going to hibernate once again for another video, I guess. See you in the next video. Bye-bye. Since you've made it this far, and you've basically watched till the end, I'm gonna tell you a secret, is that, I've been learning how to animate recently, and it's going pretty well, so I might actually start incorporating animations in the future, like the other TF2 animators, YouTubers. So yeah, keep it on the watch out with that. And if I don't, then, well, too bad, I guess, because animation is hard. You gotta keep that straight. Alright, I'm actually gonna go now. Bye-bye. Please watch my next video. I want views.